Macmillan Audio presents Empire by Stephen Saylor. Read for you by James Langdon.
History is scarcely capable of preserving the memory of anything except myths. Gustave Le Bon, The Crowd. Author's note: Roman months and days. The names of the Roman months were Januarius, Februarius, Martius, Aprilis, Maius, Junius, Julius, to honor Julius Caesar, Augustus, to honor Caesar Augustus, September, October, November, and December. The first day of each month was called the calends. The Ides fell on the 15th day of Martius, Maius, Julius, and October, and on the 13th day of the other months. The nones fell 9 days before the Ides. The Romans reckoned dates by counting backward, inclusively, from the calends, Ides, or nones. Thus, for example, the date we would call June 9 was called by the Romans the 5th day before the Ides of Junius. Part 1. Lucius, the Lightning Reader. AD 14. Lucius woke with a start. He had been dreaming. In his dream there was no earth, only a dark, empty sky, and beyond the sky, unimaginably vast, the crystalline firmament in which the stars shone brightly. No clouds obscured the stars, and yet there was lightning in the dream, lightning without thunder, random flashes of blinding light that illuminated great flocks of birds that suddenly filled the dark sky. There were vultures and eagles, ravens and crows, every sort of bird imaginable, soaring and flapping their wings, yet making no more sound than the silent lightning. The dream had filled him with a sense of urgency and confusion. Awake now, Lucius heard a faint rumble of thunder in the distance. He heard other sounds from elsewhere in the house. The slaves were up and beginning to stir, stoking the kitchen fire and opening shutters. Lucius jumped from his bed. His room, with a small balcony looking west, was on the upper floor of the house. Below him was the slope of the Aventine Hill. The nearer houses, along the crest of the hill, were large and well made, like his family's house. Farther down the hill, humbler houses and tenements and artisans' workshops were crowded close together, and farther yet was a flat expanse with large granaries and warehouses close to the Tiber. At the river, the city ended. On the far side of the Tiber, woods and meadows were divided into the private estates of the rich, which extended to the far horizon of hills and mountains. How his mother hated this view! Born into a wealthy branch of the Cornelius family, she had grown up in a house on the other, more fashionable side of the Aventine Hill, with a view of the vast Circus Maximus below, the Capitoline Hill, crowned by temples off to one side, and directly opposite, the opulent Palatine Hill, where the emperor lived. "Why, from our rooftop when I was a girl," she would say, "I could see the smoke from sacrifices on the Capitoline, watch the chariot races below, and even catch a glimpse of the emperor himself, strolling on one of his terraces across the way." "All at the same time, Camilla?" Lucius's father would say, gently mocking her. But this was the view Lucius had grown up with. For 24 years, this had been the Roma seen from his room, a jumble of the rich and poor, mostly the poor, where slaves labored endlessly in vast storehouses to accommodate all the goods and grain that arrived day after day, carried up the river from the great world beyond, the world that belonged to Roma. The month of Maius had been overcast and rainy so far, and this day promised to be no different. By the dim light of dawn beneath an overcast sky, Lucius saw the towering cypress trees along the Tiber sway this way and that. The blustering winds were warm.